Hello and welcome to Morehouse's Math Menagerie. Today we're going to start out by answering some questions from you, our fans. Meredith, what's our first question? What do you mean we don't have any questions? Yeah, how can we not have any questions? Yes, Meredith, I know we only have 2 subscribers, but we should still have some questions. We'll talk about this later. Let's just go to the PowerPoint.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about 2 sample t-tests for a population mean. The problem we're going to be dealing with is Mr. Morehouse is interested in how often students are absent from classes at the beginning of the school day versus classes immediately following lunch. In order to investigate this, he took a random sample of students in his first hour and 5th hour AP statistics classes and recorded students' number of absences during the first semester. He wishes to conduct a significance test at the alpha equals 0.1 level to determine if there is a difference in the mean days absent between the 2 classes. We're first going to take a look at the data. Here are the random samples obtained by Mr. Morehouse. If you want to, you can pause the video right now and put this data into your calculator. Step 1 of our test is going to be to define our parameters and our hypotheses. We're going to let mu sub 1 equal the mean number of absences by students in first hour, and mu sub 5 be the mean number of absences by students in 5th hour. For our hypotheses here, there's 2 ways you can represent the hypotheses. You can say mu sub 1 equals mu sub 5 for the null, or you can say mu sub 1 minus mu sub 5 equals 0. Either one is fine. You will note that our alternative hypotheses are a not equals to, because Mr. Morehouse just wanted to know if they were different. He did not indicate if he thought one was higher than the other. For step 2, we're going to check our conditions. Random sampling was stated in the problem. For independence, we're going to look at the 10% condition. For both populations, both n sub 1 times 10 is less than the population, and n sub 5 times 10 is less than the population. For normality, first period sample was less than 30, so we'll have to use a box plot to determine if the t-test is appropriate. Period 5, the sample was 30, so the central limit theorem applies. Here is our box plot for first period. You'll notice that I labeled the 5-number summary. You can either do the labeling of the 5-number summary, or you can put a number line underneath the box plot with a scale written on it. You will see here there is no outliers, and it's fairly symmetric, so a t-test is appropriate. Now, we've been using a lot of box and whisker plots in this class, but I thought maybe some of you would like to know there's also such a thing as a box and beard plot. All right, step 3 is calculations. We're going to look at these by hand first and then look at calculations using a calculator. Here we have our statistics listed out. We have that x bar sub 1 is 4.7 with the sample standard deviation from period 1 being 3.5407. And our sample size for that period was 20. For 5th period, our x bar was 3.7 with a sample standard deviation of 3.6308 and a sample size of 30. Our test statistic t, the formula is written here. If we plug everything in and run through our calculations, we end up with a t of 0.9684 and a degrees of freedom of our sample size 20 minus 1, which is 19. From here, we could go to our t table and find our p-value for the test statistic and degrees of freedom. I do, however, want to elaborate on the degrees of freedom for a second. Usually, if we're calculating things by hand, we're going to use the smaller of the 2 values, either the sample size for period 1 minus 1 or the sample size from period 5 minus 1. We always want to pick the smaller of the 2. The other option is there is a degrees of freedom formula that our calculator uses, and as you can tell, it's pretty daunting. You are not expected to use this formula, but I wanted to show it to you because it's what your calculator will use if we calculate degrees of freedom on the calculator. Okay, calculations with the calculator. We're first going to find our 2 sample t-test in the calculator using our data. You should have put in the period 1 into list 1. Here I put period 5 into list 3. Your frequency is always going to be 1 for both of these, so don't worry about changing the frequencies. Our alternative hypothesis is a not equals to, so that has been selected. And you will note there's a new option here called pooled. We will always be selecting no for pooled. We will never use pooled data for our tests in this class. Pooled is a concept that is discussed outside of AP statistics. Now, if we hit calculate, we get an output here that gives us our t of 0.9684 and a p-value of 0.3384. You will note that our degrees of freedom is a little bit different than what we had before. It is not 19. They used their formula and got 41.586 for their degrees of freedom. As you scroll down, it will list the rest of the statistics that we previously discussed, the sample means and sample standard deviations. We'll wrap this up with an awesome conclusion. The p-value of 0.3384 is greater than 0.1, thus we fail to reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative hypothesis. There is insufficient evidence to suggest that the true mean number of absences in period 1 and the true mean number of absences in period 5 are not equal. All right, I will leave you with this awesome picture of the curling team from Norway in their uniforms. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.